Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is made possible by
I'm Trey Sepps, and I'm a data center facilities technician at Google in the Mid-America Industrial Park. I never thought I'd be working at Google coming out of high school. My senior year, I had a buddy refer me to OSUIT. When I walked in, my picture was up on the wall from being there whenever I was a kid, and I took a Lego camp in like 4th grade. As a data center facilities technician at Google, I am on the electrical team. I do electrical and electronics maintenance. I believe that OSUIT being right here inside the Mid-America Industrial Park is a good asset for the companies within the Mid-America Industrial Park to find people to be ready to work for their company.
Also by
electricity makes our everyday lives more convenient. We all know it costs more to fill your gas tank, buy prescriptions, and even go to the doctor. In the last decade, gasoline costs rose 11% every year. A dozen eggs increased in cost nearly 8%. Your electricity? It only rose on average less than 5% each year. Your local electric cooperative works hard to keep your electric service safe, affordable, and reliable. Discover the power of your co-op membership.
and by
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
as well as by
Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
and by viewers and members like you. Coming up on Living Grand on Grand Lake, join us as we celebrate our nation's birthday, Grand Lake style. Plus, from steaks and seafood to hamburgers and meatloaf, delicious homemade food is always on the menu. At this Grand Lake eatery, we'll visit the American Grill in Grove. For this Baptist preacher, fishing has more than one meaning. We'll catch up with Guy Morrow, who fishes for more than souls on the weekends. All of this and more coming up on Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake!
This is Living Grand
on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Hello everyone, I'm Christy Wallace. When it comes to celebrating our nation's birthday, no one does it better than Grand Lake. The week of the 4th is packed with activities and celebrations. Fireworks shows take place all over the lake, including Grove, Miami, Bernice, Monkey Island, and Langley. All of these celebrations lead up to the granddaddy of them all, the Duck Creek Fireworks Show.
Oh my goodness, thousands and thousands of people by water, by land. The yacht clubs, Cherokee will probably have over 700 people just in that one facility that'll watch the fireworks show. And then boats, you could probably walk from boat to boat in Duck Creek. It'll just be solid boats there.
Oh yeah, it'll be almost wall to wall with boats. I don't know how many boats will be out there, thousands of boats. And the boats, you can almost walk across the cove from boat to boat. There'll be cruisers, small boats, all kind of boats. So it'll be quite a flotilla.
You know, it seems like Duck Creek, they do more and more every year. I think they're doing a lot more this year than they did last year, and it seems like they grow it every year. And it has just become such a huge thing on Grand Lake. If you have a boat, get on the lake and head down to Duck Creek and watch the fireworks show.
Well, he got asked personally by W.W. Bill Bailey, who was a World War II veteran, and I think he had something like 5 or 6 first wave landings over in Europe. And Bill Bailey started the fireworks show, and he came to a time that he wasn't able to keep up with it anymore and personally asked Joe. And it's a great story. And at first Joe said, you know, I'm kind of busy that weekend, Bill. How am I going to take on fireworks? I'm trying to take care of all of my members. And he says that Bill made him feel about an inch tall by the end of that conversation, and that's how that started. So that was Joe's contribution.
Joe did this because many, many years ago, a Marine captain started a tradition of the fireworks, so Joe's continued it. And he's done it with a non-profit organization, so there's no money made off of it. Every penny that goes into it actually goes boom in the air.
We call ourselves the Tulsa Warbirds, and they're all owned individually, although a couple of them are owned by a museum. Some of them are owned by the Commemorative Air Force. So it's a conglomerate, but it's mostly, really it boils down to a lot of enthusiasts.
The Warbirds do a bigger and better show every year. They always bring different planes. When the F-16s couldn't come, they brought in, I think, some Russian MiG fighters. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but that was very impressive.
I believe behind me you can see a Fokker D-7, which is a reproduction of a World War I fighter aircraft, up to and through on the ramp here at Ketchum, a P-51 Mustang and a Wildcat. What I enjoy about it is what's happening exactly right now, and that's an overflight of 4 T-6s. If they're in a diamond formation, and we've ended up being able to use this particular airport to stage for a fireworks show sponsored by Arrowhead Yacht Club and Joe Harwood, called the Duck Creek Fireworks.
He's just turned it into this amazing $140,000 fireworks show, one of the biggest in the, certainly in the region, and it's gotten national notoriety before, so it's probably one of the top 10 shows in the nation.
Well, if you have a place on the water or close to the water, that's the best place. If not, there are several other areas. Pelican Landing, which is close to the airport, lets the public come in to watch. And then Harbor's View Marina, which is at the end of Duck Creek Cove, also allows people to look. We have some people that watch them out here. You can't see the ones on the water because of the tree line, but you can actually see them in the air. And all those people that are there to see us in the fireworks contribute to the expenses that help us do this. So it's not just that they're there watching, they've helped us get here.
So, you know, it just keeps growing and it gets bigger and better. And every year they say the fireworks is going to be bigger and better. And you think, how can that happen? But every year it's more fantastic than the last.
If you're ready to join us for a celebration you'll never forget, make plans now to be on Grand Lake next 4th of July. It's never too early to book a cabin, room, or home on the lake for 4th of July. We suggest you make plans well in advance, as many places book up quickly. If you missed last week's show and you want to catch up, you can do so by going to our website at rsu.tv, or check us out on Facebook, and while you're there, like our page. You can see all of the episodes from this year as well as from season 1. Stay with us. We're sticking with our theme and stopping at the American Grill for some fabulous food. But first, here's some fun in the sun. You're watching Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
I'm I'm Trey Sepps, and I'm a data center facilities technician at Google in the Mid-America Industrial Park. I never thought I'd be working at Google coming out of high school. My senior year, I had a buddy refer me to OSU-IT. When I walked in, my picture was up on the wall from being there whenever I was a kid, and I took a Lego camp in like 4th grade. As a data center facilities technician at Google, I am on the electrical team. I do electrical and electronics maintenance. I believe that OSU-IT being right here inside the Mid-America Industrial Park is a good asset for the companies within the Mid-America Industrial Park to find people to be ready to work for their company.
This week we would like to talk about electrical systems on docks. With the summer season kicking off and the crowds picking up on Grand Lake, there's many things to consider when owning a dock or boating around them. Boaters must be aware that faulty electrical systems on docks can produce currents in the water and cause fatalities and dangerous situations in the water. The Grand River Dam Authority requires that the electrical systems on docks are inspected by a certified electrician. This is to ensure the safety of the dock owners and the boaters in that area. So next time you're out boating, think about the areas that you're in and that the boat docks could have faulty electrical systems. So check the area and be safe. If you are a dock owner, it's a good idea to have your dock inspected on an occasion to make sure that your electrical systems are safe. So keep these in mind and have another safe day on the water.
Time now for the Grand Lake Chronicles event page. The third annual Cars for Critters is coming up Saturday, July 18th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. This indoor event is held at the Grove Civic Center with food, a 50-50 raffle, door prizes, music, and some really sweet cars, plus adorable pets to adopt. All proceeds benefit the Second Chance Pet Rescue of Grand Lake. Mark your calendar for the 2015 Christmas in July Quilt Show, July 24th and 25th at the Grove Civic Center. There will be class workshops along with judged quilts and cash prizes, plus much, much more. Call Peggy Johnson at 918-314-0112. July 25th, Arrowhead Yacht Club and Boat Sales host Cobalt Customer Appreciation Splash Bash in Ketchum Cove. Call 918-782-3292 so you don't miss any of the action. Happy birthday to you! The Pensacola Dam and Grand Lake's 75th birthday celebration is all set for Friday, August 7th at the GRDA's Ecosystem and Education Center starting at 7 p.m. Come celebrate 75 years of achievement with special recognition of descendants of the dam builders, the Pensacola Dam Construction Photo Exhibit, plus cupcakes and cherry berry frozen yogurt while they last. Well, that's it for now on the Grand Lake Chronicles events page.
Welcome back to Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake. The American Grill is a favorite spot for a relaxing dinner out. Grand Lakers love the variety of food, from seafood to their signature burger and fries. Whether you have a large group or want to grab a bite to eat at their bar and watch your favorite game, American Grill offers something for everyone. Let us check out this fabulous eatery in Grove.
Everything that we do here, we make from scratch. We make our own sauces. We hand pat our own burger patties. We cut our own fries. Working my way through college and doing the restaurant business, either bartending or cooking, and one day I ended up just being full-time doing this. My majors were computer science and business, so I ended up a long ways from there. I worked for a lot of chain restaurants. I used to travel the country opening restaurants for some of the big chains that are out there. And then eventually got tired of working for somebody else and decided to try it on my own. At the time, my parents were here. My grandparents were still here. And I moving around opening restaurants, I was away from family so much that I decided maybe it was that point in time to just come back here to Grove and be close to family again. We opened April 7th of 2010. I opened in a small spot on the other side of town. We just had 8 tables and 8 bar stools. We had a break-in and a fire, which caused us to end up having to move, so we ended up moving over here.
We talked a lot. Every time I came in as a customer, we talked a lot and just went from there and developed a relationship and basically hired me on the spot, you know.
The response was slow. It took a little time to kind of get any traction in Grove, but once we did, our guest response was overwhelmingly positive. People absolutely loved the food.
I think you have the best ribs you can get anywhere. Balsamic chicken pasta is a very popular dish. It's something you can't get anywhere else.
Some of our staple items, like our balsamic chicken pasta, we created one summer afternoon for one of my guests who just wanted something different. We just made it up on the spot, and he ended up enjoying it so much we ran it as a special, and it became a staple and one of the most popular dishes on the menu. It's grilled chicken with angel hair tossed in a little bit of margarine, fresh garlic, fresh spinach, fresh tomato, and then we grill the chicken, and then we saute it with a balsamic glaze on it, and then place it over the pasta, and it's very popular. Our burgers, we have like 13 very unique burgers.
We have great salmon, fresh salmon, never frozen, so we get it in fresh. So that's a real major thing. Hand-breaded chicken fried steak, hand-breaded fish,
steaks, and then the pastas to kind of give a little overall, just a general all-American kind of restaurant with a variety for the family, so that mom, dad, junior, sister can come in and everybody can get what they want. My regulars, the people that live here in this town, their support has been overwhelming. I have great regulars and great folks that come in here and have supported us for 5.5 years. So it's been very positive.
American Grill is open 7 days a week from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and they offer a fabulous Sunday brunch. TripAdvisor and Yelp give the American Grill in Grove an excellent rating, and so will you. Stay with us as we visit a preacher who likes to fish for lunker bass and soles. But first, here's some more fun in the sun. You're watching Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
The Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
You two look happy? Is there anything else I can get for you? Okay.
Cherokee Casino and Hotel, West Siloam Springs. The feeling stays with you.
Hello, welcome back to Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Christy Wallace. Guy Morrow had lived on land that had been in his family for decades. When his grandfather was diagnosed with a fatal disease, Grandpa moved to Grand Lake and took up fishing. Being on the water proved to be the very best medicine for Grandpa, and he enjoyed 3 more decades on this great lake. Guy fell in love with fishing thanks to his grandpa, so much so that he now has 2 careers in fishing, as a fishing guide and fishers of men.
Probably one of my favorites, and one I probably tell more than others, is I had some people out and we were catching white bass and just catching one right after another. But the kid was 13, he didn't want to take the fish off. And he caught one. I laid my pole down. And I was taking that fish off and I heard this clunk clunk and my rod went right out of the front of it. The fish had hit it that irritated me, but you know, what are you gonna do? So about 5 minutes later, he says, I've got another one on. And he pulled it up and it was a catfish, and that catfish had line wrapped around it, and it was my pole. You couldn't do that again in a million years if you lost your pole. My grandpa and grandma lived in Pitcher, and my grandpa worked in the mines up there. Because of health reasons, he had to quit working in the mines. And so he got him a boat and bought him a little place on Grand Lake. They actually told him he wouldn't live very long after he got out of the mines, and he lived to be 78. So we contend that fishing has therapeutic value, good for your health. He loved to catfish, and he'd got pictures of these big old catfish, you know, and he had this one favorite spot over in Monkey Island where he liked to put a trot line at. And that was one of the highlights, is getting to go run that trot line with, you know, Grandpa. My dad liked to fish, and you know, he had just a little aluminum fishing boat, and so the longer we were here, the more we enjoyed it together, you know. And I got acquainted with a fishing guide, Jim Wagner is his name, and he started taking me out and teaching me more about fishing and that sort of thing. And I got where I could catch some fish, and I got me a boat, and he said, I got a trip where I need another boat, would you like to try it? And I said, sure, I'd like to do that. That was in 1986. I think probably the main thing is if you don't know the lake and you're not familiar, every lake has its own personality, fishing-wise. And so, especially if you're new to the area or haven't fished the lake before, it's good just to get a guide and have him take you around, show you the spots and how to catch them and different lures, and especially the times of the year and that sort of thing. There's a difference between being able to catch fish and then helping somebody else catch a fish that's not so good at it. And I think that's really the key, you know, is being patient and trying to help them learn how to catch fish too. We'd been catching fish, and I just kind of held my rod down like that, and a big fish hit it and jerked it out of my hand. Well, it had a cork handle. It was going down like that. I could see that cork handle. I thought, if I go right now, I can get that. Well, I didn't say nothing. I just dove off in the water. My clients were going, what are you doing? And I got it, but I forgot I had my cell phone in my pocket. But it cost me my cell phone. But I got the rod and reel back anyway. I've always loved this area, but I never thought I'd get to live here. And it worked out that I got to help start the church in 1980. I had one client out one time, and he said, I know why you catch so many fish. It's because you're a preacher and you're in with God, you know. And I said, well, I hope that's what it is. It's been good. Grove's a great area, and we've enjoyed living on Grand Lake. But I think that's what life is all about, to be honest, you know, is being with your family and love, you know, who you love and who loves you, you know. And like I said, I don't know how life could get any better for me. The Lord's been good to us.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Christy Wallace. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with another episode of Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Mid-America's Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is made possible by
I'm Trey Sepps, and I'm a data center facilities technician at Google in the Mid-America Industrial Park. I never thought I'd be working at Google coming out of high school. My senior year, I had a buddy refer me to OSUIT. When I walked in, my picture was up on the wall from being there whenever I was a kid, and I took a Lego camp in like 4th grade. As a data center facilities technician at Google, I am on the electrical team. I do electrical and electronics maintenance. I believe that OSUIT being right here inside the Mid-America Industrial Park is a good asset for the companies within the Mid-America Industrial Park to find people to be ready to work for their company.
also by
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
plus by
Grand River Dam Authority is Oklahoma's state-owned electric utility, fully funded by revenues from electric and water sales instead of taxes. GRDA electricity touches 75 of 77 counties in the state and serves as an economic development engine for all of Oklahoma. At no cost to taxpayers, GRDA also manages 70,000 surface acres of lakes, including Grand Lake, Lake Hudson, and the W.R. Hallway Reservoir. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity in Oklahoma.
and by viewers and members like you.